So what impact could the appointment of Dan Ashworth at Manchester United have on the club's transfer business this summer? The man to tell us is Dharmesh Sheth. Good evening, Dharmesh. United are trying to strengthen, you've told us before, in a number of areas. Let's get an update on where we are with this. Defence, first of all.
Centre-back seems to be the priority position that Manchester United do want to strengthen in this transfer window. And it's our information today that Manchester United have held early initial talks with Bayern Munich over the potential signing of their Dutch defender Matthijs de Ligt. They're just exploring the conditions of a potential deal. Now, Sky Germany earlier reported that Bayern's valuation would be in the region of around 50 million euros plus performance-related add-ons. That's around £42.5 million. Now, we did also say earlier on in this window that Manchester United retained an interest in the Everton defender, Jarrad Branthwaite. That interest is still there. However, after that initial bid of around £40 million was effectively laughed out by Everton, we were told that Manchester United would only go back in if Everton were to reduce their valuation of £70 million plus. And there's no sign at all of Everton doing that. And it seems now that Everton, well, we know they don't want to sell, but perhaps more significantly, I don't think they need to sell now. So it just looks from the outset now that Manchester United's priorities might just be changing from Jarrad Branthwaite to a potential deal for Matthijs de Ligt.
OK, that's defence. Let's move up the pitch into midfield. Looking to add there as well.
Yeah, another priority position as well, it looks like. Manchester United remain in talks with Paris Saint-Germain over their Uruguayan international Manuel Ugarte. Now, discussions are at an early stage, with United again exploring the potential conditions of a deal. He's not the only midfielder Manchester United are looking at. And something that we might have forgotten, a player that they had on loan last season, is Sofian Amrabat. You remember he joined Manchester United from Fiorentina on deadline day last summer. That deal also came with an option to buy Amrabat for 20 million euros initial fee plus 5 million euros in performance-related add-ons. Now, that is still on the table. Manchester United haven't yet finally decided whether they will take up that option or not. I'm told internal discussions are ongoing about whether they will trigger that option on Amrabat.
OK, and what could those potential deals mean for outgoings at United this summer?
It's the two players that we have been talking about in the last few weeks. Jadon Sancho doesn't appear to have a future at Manchester United. We think that the valuation for Sancho is around £40 million. Remember, they bought him for £73 million from Borussia Dortmund. He enjoyed a really good loan spell at Borussia Dortmund in the second half of last season. Borussia Dortmund and Juventus, among a number of other clubs, remain in talks with Manchester United about a potential deal, but no one has met that £40 million asking price. Another player, and that could have an impact on what United do in midfield, is Casemiro. We know that clubs in Europe and in Saudi Arabia remain in talks with Manchester United over a potential deal. As yet, no formal offer, just initial talks. But it'll be very interesting to see what happens with Sancho and with Casemiro and what impact it will have on what potential deals Manchester United can do. Because now the structure seems to be in place at United. Omar Barada, the Chief Executive Officer, who obviously will come into position and will be in situ on July the 13th. Dan Ashworth starting work now as the sporting director, and of course Jason Wilcox is already there as technical director.
Yeah, Dan Ashworth, straight to business. I think it's going to be a busy summer for him, isn't it?
Yep.
As it is for you. Dharmesh Sheth, thanks very much indeed. Now, Aston Villa have signed Ross Barkley today from Luton Town. It's a permanent deal following their relegation to the Championship. Barkley returns to Villa Park on this permanent basis after a loan spell there from Chelsea during the 2020-21 season. Barkley has 33 England caps and is the club's third signing of the day, following the arrivals of Samuel Illing Jr. and Enzo Barnechea from Juventus. Tottenham are close to completing a deal to sign 18-year-old Archie Gray from Leeds United. Sky Sports News understands he has now completed his medical. Final negotiations are ongoing and there is every expectation that he will sign for Spurs. Gray was set to have a medical with Brentford initially. They'd agreed an initial £35 million deal, but Leeds turned down the deal due to the structure of payments. There is the potential for Joe Rodon to join Leeds on a separate permanent deal from Tottenham. We're awaiting a further update on Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall's proposed move to Chelsea. They have agreed a £30 million deal with Leicester for the midfielder. Dewsbury-Hall had a very good season in the Championship, 12 goals and 14 assists under Enzo Maresca, who's now the Chelsea boss, of course, as Leicester were promoted back to the Premier League last season. He's been given permission to have a medical, with the deal helping Leicester comply with PSR as well.